What's going on, guys? Wei Koh from Revolution here at Watches and Wonder 2023 with my buddy Fred Arnault. How are you, sir?
Hello, Wei. After Singapore, we meet in Geneva.
Absolutely. Now, when we were in Singapore, you showed me a watch that just blew my mind, right? Which was the 60th anniversary evolution of the Carrera. Right?
Yes.
And what I loved about this watch was it just wasn't like a facile repetition of the past. It brought the story of the Carrera from a design perspective forward incredibly. It's a super modern watch, yet you understand the identity, and as a result, I think it's one of the coolest watches I've seen for a while. So tell me a little bit about that watch.
Thank you so much. So in January in Singapore, we announced a limited edition for the 60th anniversary of the Carrera with the Heuer logo,
right,
with the Panda dial,
yes.
And we announced this was going to be the last watch with this case. And the reason is now we're introducing this watch, actually these two references, where we took the same concept, these lugs, the idea of legibility, this glass box that's so iconic, but we infused in it the elements of modernity that allows us to proudly put a TAG Heuer logo and install it for decades to come.
Right.
And the key element of change, I would say, is the glass box that now goes full width of the watch and allows us to insert a tachymeter scale on which we have a curved dial where we counteract the effects of parallax because it's curved.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my favorite element is that you have the tachymeter on the flange of the watch. So in effect, it's like a bezel-less watch, right?
Yes.
Yet, at the same time, the legibility of the tachymeter is phenomenal, right? And I think that was like the first thing that I really loved about it. Then the fact that at 39 mm in diameter, it just feels great on the wrist as well. And I was told that you worked around on the proportions of the case a little bit in terms of the lugs as well.
Definitely, and the size as well, because it's bezel-less. We managed to make it thinner,
right?
And I think this matters a lot in the whole proportion of the watch.
Phenomenal. And then it's not just the watch that's beautiful from the outside, but there's a new movement or an improved evolution of your famous Heuer 02 movement.
Heuer 02, that now we have a technical denomination for it, the TH20.
Right.
And we have bidirectional winding,
right,
where we just used to have unidirectional winding. So I think it's a much better experience on the wrist.
Fantastic. So bidirectional winding has been added now to a movement that has a column wheel and a vertical clutch. So the chronograph can be, you can leave it running all day long as well with no underlying effect on the amplitude. The watch is absolutely great. So I guess the question is, and I don't expect you to tell me, right, but I heard a rumor that this beautiful new model will also be the base of a couple of cool limited editions in the future.
Not only limited editions.
Right.
So this is just two references,
right,
but we have plans to make this collection wider.
Right.
New colors, new complications,
right,
chronograph complications, of course.
Right.
And some limited edition, but very few. I think we could go also in different universes for the brand.
Right.
This is racing. Maybe I can give some hints. A very strong universe for the brand was sailing. And yes, TAG Heuer's intention to go back strongly in sailing.
Yes, I read it's a story related to the Intrepid and these incredible colorways that created a watch, which I won't name because I think it'll be too obvious then.
Yes.
But that's really cool. And if that watch were to materialize in this incredible case, could you say one for me?
It will not be a limited edition.
Okay. So it will be a ongoing.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
It will just be challenging to get.
Definitely.
I'm predicting.
Yeah. Limited production.
Limited production.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, let's go from there to this wonderful chronograph that you have as well. Has the movement of this also received the bidirectional winding
yes,
rotor?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And this is a 42 millimeter.
Right.
So it's the same idea of the glass box, but to make sure that we can see well the tourbillon and it can be enhanced in the right way, we made the case a bit wider.
Yeah, I love how you've kind of taken the seconds track and moved it to this like elevated flange, again eliminating parallax error, but also made the dial so much more, giving it so much more volume as well and so much more visibility.
Yeah.
I guess the question I would have is, will you be applying this wonderful aesthetic to all of the icons in the collection then eventually? Will you be modernizing them in your own very specific way?
I think that's really the spirit of our vision for the brands.
Yeah.
We did it also for the Monza that we released in January in a different way, but we kept historic elements, the shape, the pushers, some of the indexes, but make it truly modern with the material of the case, the carbon and the skeletonized dial. Here again, we take some elements from the past, the lugs, the pushers, the glass box, but we modernize it with an extended glass box, a new architecture on the dial, of course the latest movements, That's really the vision we have for the brand going forward.
I mean, it's great watches. Okay, so let's go to from 39 mm in diameter to 42 mm. A Carrera chronograph that's got this wonderful sort of gradient orange like colorway to it. Tell me a bit about this.
Yeah. So this is a watch we introduced in 2020.
Right.
It was a new design at the time, 42 mm, and we wanted to add a sporty touch to it, racing. And so we have this new second hand that changed shape as well. So it's triangle, because Carrera is all about the triangle. You know, we have the Monaco, it's the square.
Right.
The Carrera is triangle. You can see in the lugs, inside the lugs, and now also in this second hands. And this dégradé of colors from orange all to red, that gives the impression of speed and further enhances the racing spirit of this watch.
I have to say, like within the last, I would say, year and a half, 2 years, the designs of TAG Heuer are just smashing it. Like, tell me a bit about your team. Like, who's on the design team? Like, you know, how do you guys work together?
Yeah.
Right.
So we built a team
Right.
3 years ago for the product, and actually we used to have externalized design.
Right.
Now we have our own designers in our studio, 4 amazing designers that live and breathe the brand all day long, and that are inspired, of course, by the heritage, by everyone that will come and give some input on the watches. So I think that was one of the key of the success, building our own internal team.
Well, you've got one of the strongest, you know, so, you know, you've got a great heritage director, Nicholas, who's you know, a friend of ours, of course. And then you also have a legend of the watch industry, the incredible Carol Forestier-Casapi. Can you tell us what her role is, and has she had a hand in designing any of these movements, for example?
So she was very involved in redefining our movement portfolio, and clearly one direction for us, as you can see, is going higher in quality. We want to offer a 5-year warranty. We have to have the best standards. That's what we did on the Heuer 02. That's what we did with 2 new movements now, mechanical, that we introduced. And also quartz. You know, she's also involved in the quartz, and she pushed us to go further in the solargraph technology, and this is a movement that you will see much more of at TAG Heuer in the years to come. She was involved in the designing the bidirectional winding, the new mass, some key technical elements and movements. Now, I think the question you might have is, okay, what about high horology?
Right.
And clearly we're working on it, but as you know, it takes 4 to 5 years to develop new movements, especially if we want great complications, high complications, and the best standards of quality. So this will come in the future. Maybe I can give also another teaser. We can see hints of the vision on the high-end horology at next Only Watch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, that's very exciting, right? And I don't expect you to tell us exactly what it is, but I do remember you in Monaco telling me it's a complication that TAG Heuer has never made, Heuer or TAG Heuer has never made, and yet it's the complication you would immediately think we should have made, right?
In a chronograph.
Right, in a chronograph, which is, you know, okay, so you guys can kind of extrapolate from there, but it's really cool. And I can't wait to see that watch. Let's talk a little bit about these 2 36mm Carreras.
Yes. So Carrera is also an amazing watch as a 3 hands, because it's very legible, it has great proportions. We have a 39mm that's doing very well, and we have a lot of love from this watch. And now we thought, okay, let's also make it smaller, and 36mm, which was actually the original size for the Carrera.
Wow.
We took this opportunity to bring vibrant colors, so this pastel green and the vibrant new pink. It was already very successful on the Aqua Racer, but now that we bring to the Carrera line.
And tell us a little bit about this Aqua Racer with the collaboration with IMT.
Yes. So it's the first time we introduce solid gold on this Aqua Racer. We have solid gold case, and this is steel and gold, because we have the inlay bezel and the crown. With this watch, we introduce a new movement, which is the first ever in the history of the brand's exclusive 3-hand manufacturer movements. That will probably be at the basis of many more watches for TAG Heuer. It has 80 hours per resolve, 5-year warranty, COSC certified, of course, and so the best quality standard you would expect from a 3-hand movement.
Amazing. Well, Frederic, I know we're going to do a separate video on the new plasma and the plasma with pink lab-grown diamonds as well, but I want to thank you a lot for your time. Congratulate you again on this absolute beauty. Like, I honestly think, you know, it's funny for me to say on the first day, but I've already seen so many brands, but it's one of the best things at the fair. So for those of you in the public and who can come here on the public day, I think which is on Saturday, you got to come here and check out the new Carrera because it's absolutely fabulous. I love how boldly it moves the story forward into the future while still retaining, you know, the beautiful codes of this watch that we love. So bravo, sir.
Thank you so much, Wei.
Well done.
It means a lot to me.
Cheers.